Before reading this, I didn't think that horror books could be disturbing, but after reading it, I have changed my mind drastically. I'm your host, Mr. Crux Socks. Let's get into it. Okay, so I just wanted to say some details might not be there, like it's not going to be like a full thing, but the gist of the story, some details will be there. It's just not going to be like, oh, you missed out like this thing, like, oh, one of the characters like this. Yeah, I missed some stuff out because I didn't think about it, and some stuff out because I forgot. The book starts with a warning, so I feel I should warn you too. This book contains depiction of graphic child death and other uncomfortable stuff. If you're sensitive to that, don't watch this video. Watch something else I've made because I make cool stuff. Okay, so it starts with a character called Rock looking at a mother and son. The mother is called Caroline. The son is called Donnie. Sorry. She has a lead on him, like a leash. Like he's a dog. It disturbs Rock, because she's got a leash on her own son. She is trying to convince him to push himself on the swing while she holds the lead in one hand and a cigarette in the other hand. It's raining. Rock is wearing a faded cap or something. I don't know. That doesn't really matter. What matters is Donnie and Caroline. Okay, so she's trying to convince him to push. He does push. He falls off the swing and she says to get up and clean himself off. He is about the age just to attend school. Okay, and so Rock is really, really pissed off because his mother is being really mean to her son. He hands her a leaflet for helping hearts. That comes important later. The next chapter starts with a couple, Tom and Molly. They are about to pick their children up. And yeah, I don't think they have their children with them. They discuss how they're excited to go to this playground. The one that is described as Tom says he got a leaflet for helping hearts. And it was given to him by a gentle giant, a big fella. Those are the exact words he uses. He was really timid, especially for a man his size. Quote. They're talking about it. They said, they get money. They get like £4,000 dollars, for going there. They're having a good time. They're thinking it's going to be great. Their kids just get to play on some playground equipment, and they get £4,000. They are excited. Tom is, he's quite a nice guy. He's a nice dad. He seems like, good. And Molly seems also nice as well. They seem like good people. We get introduced to Greg Matthews. I fucking hate Greg Matthews. He is a dick. So he is pulled up to his house with his youngest son, Kip. And Kip have just got back from a baseball game. And it seems that Kip doesn't really like baseball. And Greg can see this on Kip's face as he says, "What the hell is wrong with you? Not only am I getting you top line equipment, but I also spend all my free time training you, and that's all you have to say? No, thank you." He kind of understandable, I guess. And then he says, "Okay, this is quite good. You said it like I took a shit in your cereal." Okay. See, you think he's kind of a funny guy, and then he starts yelling at his son. He's being a dick, just stuff like that. I'm not gonna read the whole pages and stuff of this, but he is being a dick. And then his other son, Bobby, remember that, comes out, and he says he's nice to his dad. He's like, "Good morning, Dad," and then his dad is sarcastic and shit, and he's like, "Is it?" And Bobby's like, "Yeah, I guess it's pretty nice out, I guess." It's like, good day, good day for baseball. I don't know about all that shit though. About that shit though. Greg said, bobbing his waterboard. So he's talking about X Games. He's talking about skateboarding and stuff because Bobby seems to be a skateboarder. he seems to love the skateboarding life. And even though he's even says to his youngest, you see, Kip, if you get fixated on something like this X Games horse shit, your brother's always babbling on about, you end up broke. What a dick. And then Bobby's like, they're making it into like a sport next year. And he's like, I don't give a damn what you say. Ain't no bicycle, skateboard, or roller skates, no matter where you use them, will ever pay the bill. That's a fact. And no one can tell me otherwise. If you've got something to say about it, just don't. You know how Nike says just do it? Well, for you, it's just don't. Because I don't want to ever hear it. Understood? What a dick. He's basically saying he's not proud of his son. That's rude. That's... I sound like I'm fucking 47 years old. He's a dick. Then we get introduced to his wife, Tonya. No, fuck. His daughter is Tonya. His wife is Lacey. Tonya is asking Lacey, her mother, for swimming lessons. She wants swimming lessons. Isn't that nice? Swimming lessons, but it's too expensive. So she convinces to get swimming lessons, and then his oldest is CJ, and now Greg is actually proud of CJ. I will have to put up probably a little graph to show all these characters because there are a lot. CJ, his dad is proud. He's reading some comic books like Marvel, DC, just cool stuff. He's reading those. He's even mentioned like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff. He likes those. He's reading them. And then he's having good. He says that they're going to the playground later that day, and CJ has said to his daughter, his sister, that he'll play with her. It's good. Greg's still being a dick. He's like saying, "Don't be a sissy," whatever. So yeah, those are the characters. Now, we get introduced. The next chapter just talks about Rock. Just talks about his sad life. His mum, his adopted mother, Grendine, is saying she hates him. She's not proud of him. Being all mean to him. I cannot fully describe in detail all the stuff about Rock's life, but it is sad. And I cannot describe these characters. These characters are built upon in the book, and this video would be so long if I, described in detail all these characters. I'll just say the names. We've got Gwendolyn, we've got Rock, we've got Coraline, we've got Donnie, we've got Tom and Molly, the couple with their children, Sadie, Samantha, and Isaac. We got Greg and Lacey with their youngest Kip, and then the oldest CJ, and then we got Bobby, and then we got Tonya. I will make a graph of that. But yeah, Rock, he is not having a good time. He isn't having a good time in the slightest, Yeah, he is. They're getting ready for the guests to arrive. The next chapter, just introducing Sadie and Samantha, but I'll call her Sam like they do in the book. They're being kind of mean to Isaac. Isaac seems to be a little nerdy boy. The underdog, I would say. Isaac. I like Isaac. He seems fun. Everyone's just giving him shit. Especially his sisters in this chapter. He's glasses and stuff. But yeah, and then next chapter, shit is about to go wild. I have warned you, if you don't like disturbing, gross stuff, leave, man. Leave, just go. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, I recorded this once and my mum walked in, so I'm going to be quick. Rock is sitting in the mirror, his mum is berating him, his adopted mother, Gwendolyn, or something, I don't know. She then makes Rock lick her private. That's not even the worst of it. He does it. It lasts a couple of pages. In the end, her bottom dentures fall out. They fly out of her mouth. They use words such as meat to describe her privates. It is gross. I don't want to read it again. She then walks into a hallway, and her hallway is covered in toys. Not like Legos or anything. You know the ones, and if you don't watch this video anymore. So then she's using them. I don't want this to get age restricted. She's using them and then thinking back to a memory when she was a child, and then she called her mum and her dad doing, the heebie-jeebie, and she was jealous of her dad. And then she thinks back to when she was a teenager and she found her mum's panties. And, she kept them or whatever. I don't want to think about it. Okay, and she thinks back to when her mother went to work and she was like infatuated with her mother. I don't know. She then thinks back to a time when her mother was late to work and then she got to flush the toilet and then she just. She uses the shit just to do gross stuff. And then, okay, last chance, leave. Her mother is in the hospital bed. She is old as shit. The word that rhymes with grape. She does that to her mum. Her mum fucking dies because of what happened. Ah, God, I don't like describing this. I don't know if I mentioned I woke up not that long ago, and this is my morning. She does that. It's gross. She thinks back to the funeral. Just gross shit. And then she's thinking, oh, I better hurry because the guests are arriving. The Matthews, there's also a character called Fuchs. I don't know. He's like German. They use words like that, or this, or whatever. Well, these. Okay, so everyone's arriving. Greg is arriving. Tonya's arriving. No, the Matthews. Greg, Lacey. Shit, I left my notes somewhere. Okay, Greg, Lacey, Tonya, CJ, Kip, and Bobby. They're arriving, and they're there. Okay, they're arriving at the castle, where the playground is. I forgot to mention earlier that on the car ride there, Greg thinks about how he's thankful that none of his sons are an F slur. You know the one. Further adding to the list of why I hate Greg. And when they get there, he keeps interrupting everyone. Another reason why I hate Greg. Tom is, he's a bit skeptical about this whole thing. He keeps seeing to ask like all the legal stuff and whatever. And Greg is like, just fucking, I want fucking £4,000 or dollars. So he keeps like pushing Isaac and like being like, oh, you fucking bitch. Just go in the playground. He's like, so they eventually do go in the playground. It's like a football field length. It's described as, and my cat. Sorry, let me just get back to this. Isaac is slightly disappointed. He was expecting some other stuff. Bobby sees that and he's like pissed off. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So like, so Bobby's like, oh, he must be ungrateful. What a fucking bitch. And he even gets like Kip in this like behavior. He's gonna like become like a bully, basically. I went from liking Bobby to like hating him in like a split second. Like, oh my god, what an asshole. So they like all the children, they're allowed in the playground. There's like, there's a big slide near a hill, and they're like, oh, just don't go on it yet, which is a bit suspicious, but they're like, whatever. Sadie and Samantha, get on the seesaw first. Tonya is a bit disappointed because she wanted to go on it with CJ, but CJ's like, let's find something else. It's fine. So sorry, my cat's scratching my bed. So they go there. The parents go to the spy room where they're told, they get like a PA system. They can talk to their kids. And so they're like, yeah, that's all right. So they go in there. It's like a cinema room. It's all cool. Rock is like outside the playground. He's keeping an eye on everyone. Donnie and Caroline, they're late. So they're not here yet. They're like the gate is open for them. So that's that. They get in the cinema room, and they're told to lay back, relax, and Lacey is playing with Tonya's slap bracelet that she was given. It's like a zebra one. She keeps slapping it on her wrist, and then she drops it, and then so everyone lies back down, and Lacey goes to pick it up, and bam, some clamps go to like trap people's neck, but cause Lacey was going to pick up a bracelet, it goes through her neck, killing her nearly immediately. I don't know. She sprays loads of blood on Greg and stuff. I feel kind of bad for Greg in this moment. His wife has just been fucking murdered. So the parents realize something's going on. Something is going on, and it's not good. So Rock is just thinking like, oh, what am I? He's kind of thinking, what am I doing? I'm killing these children. Gee, no, I'm helping in these children's death. He is like thinking, and then Caroline comes. She comes bringing the leash. She's got the leash on Donnie, and then Donnie like kind of trips on the stairs. He accidentally cuts himself, and Caroline's like, oh, fuck, you cut yourself again. This pisses Rock off so much. It makes him think of Gwendolyn, his like adopted mother, and how horrible she was. So Greg kills Caroline. For fuck's sake. He kills her. He basically like repeatedly punched her, smashed her face against the step, just like gruesome stuff. And Donnie's watching, and he feels nothing. So, damn, poor Donnie. Because Rock kind of relates to Donnie. Bobby, it then cuts to Bobby. I don't know the order of stuff. I just know what happens. Bobby and Kip are like being horrible to Isaac. They're like saying, "We're gonna fucking kill you. You're dead, bro." And so this scares Isaac. He falls off a thing. He hurts his balls. And drops his glasses. It does say balls. I'm not just making that up. It does say he hurts his balls. He drops his glasses. It's rough. CJ says, Bobby, stop. What are you doing, man? Just don't do this. Rock then cleans up. CJ helps Isaac up. Rock helps Donnie by cleaning like the blood off him. And then, okay, I tried to make a really smooth transition there, but it really failed. So basically, the parents are like, "What are you doing?" Molly is like really upset. Tom's trying to comfort her, but obviously can't because he doesn't know if they're going to be safe and stuff. So that's really sad. Molly's like begging, "Don't hurt my children," and then Caroline's like, "Which ones are your children?" And she's like, "Oh, those ones, Sadie and Samantha." And then Caroline's like, "How do you know they're yours?" And she's like, "What?" She's like, "I gave birth to them." And she's like, "She giving birth or some shit like that?" And she's trying to I think she's trying to mess. Maybe she is mentally insane, but she is also, I think, trying to mess with Molly. So kind of rude. And then it feels like Gwendolyn kind of gets obsessed with Sadie, Samantha, and Tonya because she wanted children, and she only adopted Rock, and she hates Rock. So she's like, "Oh, I might, if they survive this, I'll adopt them and whatever, and you might get the chance to see them again. Woo, yay!" And it's like, oh, while all this is going on, Greg is yelling that he's gonna kill Gwendolyn, which in that position I wouldn't yell that. You're strapped down with metal and your children are in a death playground, so why would you do that? But yeah, so that happens. Then Rock is puts Donnie into the playground with the other ones, and then and then Rock is like holding some dogs, like some really angry ass dogs, are like foaming at the mouth or whatever. I don't know if it's that. I'm assuming that they are. And then Fuchs comes on the, but he's holding them like tightly, and it's gated. The playground gate is locked. And Fuchs comes on like the PA and is like, "Go to the slide," or something like that. Go to the big slide at the back of the thing. I kind of mentioned it, but very briefly. Anyway, so most of them go. Isaac's like still picking up his glasses. CJ's helping, and he is slow as shit. I was like fucking stressing for Isaac. The dogs then get released, and the dogs are released. They run after. They fucking bite Isaac in the back of his arm, and he's like, "Ah!" Maybe he makes that sound. That sounded more like an alien thing. And I'm like, Isaac, I was rooting for you. God damn. CJ luckily like climbs up. The dog chases him. Climbs up like something. Dog chases him. He takes off his shirt, wraps it around the dog, kicks it off wherever he is, and the dog snaps his neck. He then goes to the dog near Isaac, throws sand in the dog's eye, and him and Isaac get away. But Isaac like bleeding really badly. They hide like in the big slide. It's like a room, I think. Yeah, it's like a room, and then CJ tries to bandage up Isaac with Kip's shirt after arguing with Bobby because Bobby is being a dick. He's like, "Oh my god, it's really bad, Isaac," trying to stress out Isaac, and he's like, "Oh, Isaac like should fucking die," or some shit like that. Bobby's being like a really big asshole. And then the room starts to close, and there's only one like hole that's like a slide into like darkness. So they have to go all in there. They all go in there. It then goes to Rock talking to Gwendolyn. And he's like, "Oh, one of the dogs died. I was supposed to, and the other one got kind of injured a bit." And Gwendolyn's like, "Just kill the dog. I don't fucking race losers, except for you." And it mentions the fences are electrified, so they couldn't just like climb up the fences or anything. It then like kind of mentions that Fuchs is a Nazi scientist. He was a Nazi scientist. So this isn't like in present day, because it mentions like Gwendolyn was like 48 years old in like 1970 something. Okay, that bell you're hearing is my cat. That is where I've come up to. Okay, all of that I've read. I am now here, so I will read a lot more of this now. So yeah, this video is not. I am filming currently the 23rd of June. So whenever this video comes out. All right then, on to the next bit. Okay, so all of the children, they go down like a slide. They get to go down the big slide, and CJ isn't wearing a shirt because he used his shirt to kill the dog. So they go down there, and then CJ starts to feel like his back is getting like really, really starting to hurt. And then he notices like it was because the slide was covered in like razors and barbed wire. And so he gets to the bottom, and it's like a big room. All the children like they've got cuts and stuff, and like Bobby is looking like really bad. So then they like listen, and then they can hear like baseball machines are about to go, and so they all duck down, and the baseball machine's going, and it says like one of the riddles, because like I think every room has a riddle, and one of the riddles was listen. And so they listen, and they hear someone's like muffled screaming. They look up, and there's like a dummy that's hanging from the ceiling. It's like Hangman, and the dummy's got like a big knife in its hand. And the riddle is like, I don't know what the words that are removed, but the answer is stab him in the head. Samantha is looking at, and I forgot to mention, there's a big neon pink sign that says exit, and the sign is in front of a big dark hallway. And Samantha is like, "Oh, I want to see my mom and my dad." It's kind of sad, because she's a kid and she just wants to see her mom and dad. So she runs towards the hallway that has the exit sign, and then Sadie runs after her, and then boom, editor put. big explosion, and Samantha's like leg has come off, her bone is showing. Sadie's kind of hurt as well, and like everyone's kind of in shock. So CJ comes running, so does Isaac. They try and drag Samantha out while she's screaming, and then the ceiling starts to collapse, and they just they let her go, and Sadie is grabbing onto Samantha's hand, but Samantha's arm, but she's grabbing onto Samantha's hand, but her arm comes off, and Samantha is like crushed to rocks. It's probably the saddest death in the book so far. They're all kind of shocked, and they mourn for a bit. Obviously, Molly and Tom are devastated because it's like their child, but all the children eventually, everyone's upset except Donnie. He's like got no reaction, so they work out the riddle. They it's like a bull pit. It's hanging. The hangman is hanging above a bull pit as well. That's important information, because CJ climbs up his way to the dummy, and but before he can get on there, he falls into the bull pit. And it's like all the balls are thin and they have all salt inside them. So he crushes down and all the salt goes into the wounds on his back from the razor blades and stuff that were in the slide. So that's not good. But he eventually gets the dummy down, and Sadie grabs the knife, stabs it in the head so many times, and then starts stabbing it in the stomach. But they need the shirt from the dummy to fix up Bobby, because Bobby is pale and really, really pale. So then fire ants come out of the dummy because it's covered in fire ants. They start biting all the children. They throw the head of the dummy in the bull pit, and they're like, we gotta go. It's like the riddle is something to do with the sign, and there's a key inside the dummy. It's kind of complicated. I mean, not really complicated. It's difficult to explain now in the time that I have. So they do it. They run into a way, and the whole ceiling starts to collapse, and they escape. It then cuts to okay. I forgot to say this at the beginning. I'll probably put this in the beginning of the video. This is from my POV, so it's not all in order. Get all the details right, but all the important stuff I will probably get right in this. Whatever. It cuts to and Molly. No, yeah, Tom and Molly. They're trying to convince Rock because they know he's the one who can save them. He is the only one who isn't like them. Gwendolyn and Rock are celebrating. Greg is Tom and Molly are talking. We've got to convince Rock, and then Greg's like, "There's no point, and he's like, "The Matthews will do it." And he looks at his dead wife and he's like, "We've got this," and he's basically going insane at this point. And Tom's like, "We got 2 chances to tell Rock." So Gwendolyn and Fuchs, they're celebrating, and I think we get our first look at Gwendolyn here. So. And also some detail. Bobby is the oldest. I learned that as well. So they're celebrating. At some point, Tom and Molly try convincing Rock. They're like, "Don't be like him. Don't be like Gwendolyn and stuff." But Greg ruins their chances, and Rock gets mad, punches a hole in the wall. He's like, "God damn it, I'm not like Gwendolyn." Scaring everyone, even Greg and stuff. So Greg calls Isaac the F slur in this. I don't know if that's the right order, but we'll just get all of that stuff out of the way from the spy room and go on to the next challenge, which is hopscotch, and it's surrounded by meat grinders, and so and the cows above it. So they do the hopscotch. So some close calls in there. At some point, Bobby's like, "Oh, your sister, she got herself killed." He says that to Isaac, and he's like, "Oh, he's being rude." And it's I kind of agree. She shouldn't have run in a dark hallway in the murder playground, but it's not time or the place. So they're getting through, but some cows fell into the meat grinder, and the meat went into Kip's face, and he fell face first into. It says face first, but the image they show that I might be able to show, I don't know. I don't want to risk it, but why not? And Kip dies. I guess that's fine. I was kind of sad, but who else was gonna die? Bobby's like kind of rude, but I don't really want him to die. So whatever. It's just fine. I mean, it's not fine. Okay, so I forgot to mention, in the room with the hopscotch is the hopscotch, and then both of the hopscotch bits are surrounded by meat grinders. And then when you finish hopscotch, there's a door that says heaven and one that says hell, and there's like drawn like dead angels on the ground. But yeah, so Bobby finishes the hopscotch, and he immediately like punches Isaac in the face. He's like, "You cut my brother," and whatever. And I think he breaks Isaac's nose or whatever. And then he calls like Isaac an F slur, which if I had a nickel for every time someone called Isaac an F slur, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that happened twice. So then like Sadie is like kind of hitting like Bobby's stomach, trying to get him to stop. It doesn't really do much, and then CJ's like, just stop. Also, I forgot to mention, I didn't realize this, but Bobby's the oldest. Okay, so he's the oldest in the room, and so and then CJ's like, how can you defend them and not Kip? Are you not even sad that he died or whatever? And Tonya says, if you moved, he wouldn't have died, and that like affects Bobby a lot. So that's it. And then they realise Donnie has gone into the hell room, so they need to go there. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get all the little like spy room section out of the way. The most important thing is that Gwendolyn and Fuchs think that Greg is a psychopath. Okay, because he doesn't react to his son's death, and he's talking to his dead wife. Okay, so they go in a new room, and it's described as like a fork thing, kind of. The most important thing is there's a giant, big swing set with 2 swing seats, and the other one, there's like those rocking things that you do in playground. They're like they're in the design of like a devil, a heart, I think. Like a brain, a maggot, and a Venus flytrap. So Bobby's like, I'm not sitting next to Isaac or Sadie, because I hate them and they killed Kip and whatever. So Donnie, Bobby, CJ, and Tonya get on the like rowing things, and Isaac and Sadie get on the swings, and on the swings you have to swing and get momentum and then jump onto like a concrete platform. So they get on there. CJ gets on the heart, Bobby gets on the devil, I think Tonya gets on like, I don't know if there was a brain, and but Donnie gets on the Venus flytrap, kind of representing, because CJ's the heart and he's nice, and Bobby is like the devil, and Tonya's like the brain or whatever. I don't even know if there was a brain. So they get on that. They start rocking back and forth, and then an axe swings out from behind them, nearly hitting Bobby and CJ. And then CJ's like, oh, we got to stop. We got to time this right, or we're gonna die. So I think CJ and Bobby get off, but Donnie is not stopping. He is keep going, and then Bobby's like, what are you doing? And you R-word. And so that doesn't do anything, because it's mentioned that like, even if Donnie listened, he would get beaten, and if he didn't listen, he would get beaten. So he's just assuming he's going to get like hurt either way, if he stops or he doesn't stop. So he's doing that. Axes swing into the little Bobby and CJ's rowing thing, and if they didn't move and get off them, they would have died. So and then there's a sand pit under the swing, and then that falls, and then starts there's a giant fire that's going up. So Isaac and Sadie have got to swing quickly and jump quickly, or their seats will melt and they'll fall into the fire and die. So Isaac swings upward, he leaps over the big gap and onto the concrete, and he makes it. And then it's Sadie's turn, and she makes it too. It's more suspenseful in the book. Just I cannot do that level of suspense. So they've made it, And I think Bobby, CJ, Tonya, and Donnie have done it as well, and now they're in going to a big slide. So I wonder what happens next. Okay, so they enter a room, all of them, all the children, and there's like a monkey bar, and under it is like a 20-foot drop or something, and in the drop is glass shards and snakes, which seems a bit excessive, but whatever. And so they're like, oh, the younger kids, they're not going to be able to climb the monkey bars. That seems a bit too, because it's kind of far. And Bobby's like, fuck it, leave them, just leave them to die. And so that happens. In the spy room, Molly and Tom, Greg's still going insane, like with his dead wife and whatever, but Molly and Tom are just like please, they're saying, please, Rock, help us, and Rock's still holding on to the leash that was on Donnie. I don't know if I've mentioned it because of the level of detail. And then they're like, why is he holding the leash? And they don't think Rock can hear him, but he can. Rock is also he's rooting for Donnie. He didn't realise he cared about Donnie, but he does care about Donnie, so that's nice. But they're basically saying, Tom says to Molly, he's a lost cause.
Look, Pim, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause.
Okay, so all the kids are waiting, preparing for the monkey bars, preparing themselves, and then over the loudspeaker, Molly uses the only time she can use the loudspeaker. She only has a couple of seconds, and she says, the monkey bars, they have oil on them. If you try and you have to go above the monkey bars. Don't try and grip on, or you'll fall into the snake pit. So you can, I don't know if I mentioned, but you can only use the loudspeaker once. So they're like, okay, we'll go above. And Bobby's like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. And CJ's like, we need to help you, which kind of shows CJ is actually helping Bobby, where Bobby wanted to leave all the children behind. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, it cut back to, Gwendolyn, and she's like, how did they know they've got the bars on it, damn it? And she's looking in the monitor, and Fuchs is like, it's kind of, it's slippy, because they keep saying Z's and Zats. I mentioned that. But she's like, oh, it's so annoying. And Gwendolyn wonders if Rock told them, if Rock said, there's oil on the bars or whatever. Okay, so I'll get this there first. She is she watched on the monitor, and all of them have made it past the monkey bars, so they're all good. And but Gwendolyn's smiling because she knows that it doesn't matter. She just thinks, oh, it doesn't matter. No one will get to the end. They're all gonna die because the next challenges are apparently really tough. Okay. Well, Gwendolyn looks on the monitor and she sees Tonya, and she's thinking of all the stuff that they can do if she mentors, and she cares about Tonya and she wants them to pass. I wouldn't say cares about. Okay. And she's watching Tonya on the monitor, and then she starts. Fuck's sake. She starts doing. She starts doing stuff to. Okay, once again, let's get all the spy room stuff out the way. Rock, is kind of getting kind of friendly, I guess, with Molly and Tom. Okay, that's all the spy room stuff. So, yeah, they all make it past all the kids, and sorry about that, and they go to the slides. There are a couple of slides. They're 15 feet tall or something. Long ladders. So they're deciding which slide is which one they want to go to. And the slides have saws that go up and down and up and down, and it's timed and stuff, and they will be shredded if they go into the saws, obviously. So they're deciding, and then they realise the platform behind them that had the snake and glass is being all raised up, So they just go. They just run up the ladder. Isaac is on a ladder with his sister Sadie and Bobby. I think CJ is on a platform. Is on a ladder with Tonya and Donnie. Okay, so they get up there. Isaac's deciding, what do I do? He is nervous. He's really nervous. And so he gets his shoe and a belt and his sock, and he like weighs the shoe down, goes it down, and like times it to see like if like the shoe can go when the saws are up, will it be able to make it down? And it does, and so the shoe thing works, so that's good. And so Isaac like builds up the courage, and he goes down and he makes it, so that's good. So then followed by Donnie, followed by Tonya, followed by CJ. So they all make it, and then like Sadie is like really scared, and then she like pees herself, and while Bobby's going like fucking go for Christ's sake, and so then on the loudspeaker, Greg goes, "You know what you have to do, son. You know what will make me proud." And so from the hangman's knife, the hangman had a knife, and Bobby got it. Well, CJ got it, but Bobby stole it from CJ. He picks it up, he's contemplating, and he stabs Sadie like several times, and he stabs her, and then he flips her over. And also Greg said on the loudspeaker, I know I'd never liked this skateboarding, but this is what you got to do. So sorry, Bobby, that's it. Flips Sadie over, stands on her back of her leg, on her neck, and rides her down like a skateboard, down the slide, and into the saw blades. So she gets like shredded. It mentions how her lips are shredded, her little teeth and stuff. There's even an image there I'll try and include if I can find it. Oh, like Jesus Christ. So he gets all the way down, and Sadie is like, there is no coming back from that. She is mangled. There is like barely any Sadie left. It's described like a fucking 4th of July fireworks show. It's crazy. And then Isaac is about to, step in. He was about to fucking kill Bobby, but Bobby's holding a knife and he points it at Isaac, and then it cuts to like the control room, and Molly is like screaming because she, like, her daughter, like probably like an hour ago or so, got crushed, and now her daughter has been mangled by saw blades. Jesus. Okay, so when Molly is like screaming, and Tom's really upset, and Rock is kind of sad as well because he knows how much they loved Sadie. Greg is going, woohoo! That a boy, Bobby, that a boy, come on. And like this really annoys Tom. Like obviously he is screaming at Rock, let me free. He wants to kill Greg, and I can't blame him. Jesus Christ, I hate Greg. So they're in that. Gwendolyn and Fuchs, they are celebrating. They are like having the time of their lives. But then Gwendolyn is like, she's smiling, but that smile quickly fades. Because she is, I don't actually know. She's just kind of sad. I think she's kind of worried about Tonya, but I don't care about her relationship with Tonya because what she did when looking at Tonya on the monitor. Ugh. Okay, so we cut to Bobby has gone down the slide. Isaac is like backed off because he's got a knife. And yet again, Bobby calls Isaac an F slur. Again, a dandelion F slur. That's what they keep calling Isaac, Greg. Greg and Bobby, which kind of shows, the similarities between Greg and Bobby. He's kind of become Greg. He's kind of gone crazy because he's killed Sadie. So, they're doing that. CJ and Bobby are like kind of arguing. Tonya's like, she is like really disturbed, and Bobby's just like, you guys will not understand. You don't understand. It had to be done because when Kip died, I think Isaac was in front of him. I don't think Isaac, killed. I think it went in his eyes, but I guess because Isaac stopped for a bit and that gave time for the blood to go into Kip's eyes and he fell into the meat grinder. But I don't think that's Isaac's fault, I don't think that. But Greg and Bobby think that. And Bobby's like, we're even now, doesn't matter. And Isaac's like, I don't want to stay with I don't want to be near Bobby. And he's like, well, too bad, because if you don't, I will fucking kill you. That is what he's saying. So they go. There's like an elevator when they got down the slide, so they go up the elevator. That goes through, and now they're in a new room. Okay, so there's a lot of detail in this room, but the thing that you need to know about is there's a merry-go-round, and under the merry-go-round is basically toxic waste. Liquidy toxic waste. It's like it's bad. It's making like all the kids like cough, and so they got to be quick. While walking to the merry-go-round, CJ and Tonya, they have a nice conversation. They're like, sorry we didn't get to go on the seesaw. And she's like, I'm never going on the seesaw again. And, it's a nice conversation. So they all get on the merry-go-round. Donnie, CJ, Tonya all go in like different sections. And then Isaac gets there and Bobby sits next to him. So that goes round. It kind of descends. So if you let go of this, you are going in the toxic waste. Everyone's got a good position. There's a dog barking outside. Sorry about that. But then Isaac kind of has a bad position, and he can't hold on for long, and he starts to slip. And CJ's like, if CJ can't help because he's too far, so he's like, Bobby, help him. And then and then Bobby's like, oh, I'll help him, all right. And he pulls out the knife, he stabs Isaac in the finger, and I'm like, oh no, because I really like Isaac. He's like my favourite character, maybe even second favourite, because CJ's pretty cool. And it's like, oh man. And Tom comes on the loudspeaker and it's like, if you do this, I will kill you. But I've got your dad right here and I'm gonna fucking kill him. He says that if you do anything. And so CJ hesitates for a sec, and then Greg goes in the background. He's bullshitting your son. Kill him. Oh man, I was like, oh my god. And I just it's over. So he jumps on CJ and he drags them both down, and they their bodies melt, and it's like it mentions how the toxic waste just goes their scalp all comes off their face. So, oh my god, they even include an image. Kind of gross. Sad to see Isaac like that. Man, oh, I really liked Isaac. I knew Bobby was going to die, but oh man. So that is just Donnie, CJ, Tonya are left, and the Grimley children are dead. Molly and Tom, they have nothing now. Oh, it's sad. That is sad, man. Oh man, Greg just needs to die. Oh my god. The one thing that I can give this book so far is, though, there have been no boring deaths. The weird way to describe it, but it's not someone falls down the stairs or gets shot or something. That metal thing going through Lacey's neck, Coraline being her face absolutely destroyed, and Samantha getting crushed. That was sad. Kip in the meat grinder, Sadie in the saw blades, Isaac and Bobby melted. Jesus, that sad to see Isaac go. But let's move on. Tom and Molly, they feel they're numb now, and Greg's just damn, that kind of sucks about his son dying. So that's all the spy room stuff. So Donnie, CJ, and Tonya, they're in a new room. And it's a seesaw, so Tonya and CJ are I guess we are doing a seesaw after all. But there's a metal fan at the top of each. So if you go up, you'll die. So the basic riddle is, or the playground rule is you need 10 points. So they're okay, we need 10 points, we'll just do this. Donnie sits in the corner watching, and so CJ and Tonya, they go up and they try not to get high, and the fans start propelling and stuff. And then at 5 points, it like some. When they get like they're fully on the seesaw, like metal hooks go just under their armpit and they dig into them, so that's not good. And when they get to 5 points, like some fire spews up and like starts burning their leg hair. So they've got to, like one's got to go up, one's got to go in the fire, and for like I don't know a couple of seconds. So they do that. CJ is like really not doing good. Obviously, he's got these hooks in under his armpits, his back, like from all the cuts from the slide and the salt in there, and just it's not looking good. And also the fumes from the toxic chemicals is why, why they're, not doing good. They're like coughing. They are weak. They are feeling really weak. So they do that. They get to I think 9 points, and their legs like melting. They are in agony. And CJ like passes out. His head is numb, but his body is still, up because of the hooks. So, and Tonya, she goes up, but because CJ, he can't, he's unconscious, so he can't like put his legs down to stop himself. So they get to 10, and then Tonya's thing like is pulled downwards, but then CJ's thing is pulled upwards, and he like the fan like just cuts into his face, decapitates him, hits him against the wall, and all the like pressure from that just like makes the seesaw fall over, and Tonya is like a bit of her face and a bit of her arm falls onto the flame, but Donnie helps her because she was helping like Donnie throughout the book. I don't know if I mentioned. So that's happened. CJ, my favourite character is like dead. Come on, I'm just rooting for Rock. He's my favourite now. Oh man, Isaac and CJ dead, and they were my favourites. And Greg is still alive. Greg and Gwendolyn and Fuchs. Well, a door opens, and that is the exit. So they head towards the exit. So we'll have to find out what happens next. Okay, so Gwendolyn, says about how she feels equal now because CJ is dead, and she's like, that's kind of good. And then she reveals there's one last game as well. So it's like, great. So the new game is like in kind of a bigger room. It's like really tall. The roof is like really high. There's a rope coming down, and the rope's got like spikes on it that kind of go up. And it's kind of hard to describe. But the thing about this is there's a sand pit, okay? And there's like these blocks, and the blocks say like they're like ABC, ABC, just ABC block. Wooden blocks that have letters on. And that's what say the playground rules. Tonya collapses because she's like weak, she's burned, she's not doing good, and Donnie spells out in the bricks, I will do it and I will help you, and stuff like that. And he's grateful that Tonya's been helping him. And then Tonya's like, why can't you speak? And he's like, oh, my mum, he spells this out in blocks. Oh, my mum doesn't like, she says I speak too much. It's like, why don't you just, your mum's like, not, whatever. And he reveals that his tongue has been cut out, which is like Jesus. So Tonya's like, she's not going to stop Donnie from going up. So he starts to climb the rope, but then on the voice speaker is Rock, and he says, I'll let you out, just remain there and stuff. So then he goes to help Greg, not Greg, Tom and Molly. He goes to let them free, but then Gwendolyn and Fuchs come out from where they were watching the control room, because they're in a different room. I don't know if I mentioned that. So they come out there and they're like, no, you don't. God damn it. They're like, oh, you're stupid. I'm really so disappointed in you. Stuff like that. And then Fuchs, Rock is like coming towards Gwendolyn because he is like really pissed. He's sick of her shit, and he's going to like try and kill her. And then Fuchs pulls out a gun. He's like, nope, no way. And but then Rock grabs his arm, breaks his arm, gets shot in the bicep while breaking his arm, but he doesn't let that affect him. He then the gun falls on the floor. He then grabs Fuchs by the neck. I don't know, like, they got into the control room somehow. I don't know. I was a bit tired when I read this bit. Like, slams his head on, like, the control board, lets Tom and Molly and Greg and free stuff, and Fuchs, like, his hair gets on fire, his eyes are described looking like runny eggs. He is, like, it is described in a gruesome way. He is, like, dead. Well, good, because he's a Nazi. And so that's good. But then Gwendolyn shoots Rock in the chest with, like, I don't know, like, loads of shots. And then in the stomach, and she's, like, keeps pulling the trigger and it keeps clicking and clicking. So shit, you know. Then Tom and Molly, they're like, we gotta go. She's out of bullets. Let's go. And Greg's like, you're not going anywhere, sissy boy. And so he like starts to strangle Tom in one hand, and then he's blocking punches from Molly in the other hand. He like punches Molly in there, and she gets knocked to the floor. But Rock, the goat, punches him in the face, and he's like, oh shit, I can't, fight two of them. I can't fight Rock. Okay, so Rock is punching Greg so much that it's basically like he's punching through his face. He can feel like the bit of vomit and the blood and stuff until he grabs onto his nose and he twists so his fucking nose is like snapped. And when he dies, I really like this like line. It's like, the father who viewed life as a constant competition has officially lost, or had officially lost. Fuck. Well, so that's happened. Greg is dead. And so they and Tom is alive, and so is Molly. So they patch up a bit of Rock's wound, and then he's going after Gwendolyn in a place she feels set. Oh god, I think we're going back to that bloody hallway. Oh great. So he's going to go back there, and he says, I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago. And so he heads off. Rock sees that Gwendolyn's door to her bedroom is open, and it's said that she never leaves it open. So he goes in, thinks back to his suicidal thoughts about a rifle on the wall. He then notices that the rifle is gone, so Gwendolyn has it, and the door to the hallway with the toys in is left open. So he goes in there. Gwendolyn's hiding. She fires a shot, but it misses him. Rock then punches the wall to kind of confuse her, I think. I don't know. The mirror. It's all mirror. It's like a mirror maze, kind of. She's hurling insults at him until he has some stealth. She's firing shots at him, but she's missing. And he gets stealth. He's stealthy, and then he eventually catches up to her. And she's like, no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And she's acting nice. But he's like, I don't care. And she's like, I'm your mother. And he's like, I'm a motherfucker. And then he throws her through 2 mirrors. And he throws her through more mirrors. And her face is all bloody. And he throws through like loads of mirrors. And then with one of the toys, he like pushes her face into it. And it is like describe the crusty stuff at the end of the thing, and it mixes with the blood. And when she tries to talk, just blood comes out of her mouth. So he does that. He throws her through more mirrors. And he's like, he feels satisfied with this. He's like, he's taken shit from her his whole life. And so there's a shard of glass laying upward, and he does it so her go into it, and it snaps off and she dies, which is like, it was very gruesomely described. I even felt a bit bad at sometimes, but then I realised what she did throughout the book, and even to her own mum and stuff. But yeah, so Gwendolyn is dead. Well, Rock then gets Tom and Molly, and they go down to the the playground, and they open the door. Molly is hoping that Isaac, Sadie, and Samantha will be there, and it will be some kind of sick joke. But that's not true. They take Donnie and Tonya. Tonya, is like, "Where's my mum and dad?" And then they're like, and she starts crying because she hadn't. There is a lot of crying in the book as well. Well, anyway, so they go up. They get to where the good playground is, where they started. Like, it circles back. Rock then turns off the electrical fences because Gwendolyn installed them just in case. And Rock is not doing good. He's bleeding out. The glass from when he punched the glass, the shots from Gwendolyn. And they say, and Molly's like, "Come with me, we can go to the hospital." And he's like, no, it's fine. Just go. And like, what? Tom's like, "What are you going to do?" And he's like, "Something I haven't done before." And he's like, "What's that?" It's like, "Play." And then Rock, goes on the slide. Well, he can't fit on the slide. He's like, "Oh, rats." And then he goes on the swing, but it kind of breaks. And he's like, he starts giggling. And he goes on different slides. And he goes on different, like, not different slides, different, like, things. Because he never got to do that when he was younger. Or ever. And for the first time ever, he's smiling. He goes on the merry-go-round. He spins it around a bit. He's smiling. He's having a nice time. And then slowly his pulse starts to slowly fade. He dies. And that's Playground. That's the book. Sad ending. I nearly cried, honestly. Like, will I read it again? No, never. I am going to. This has been hell. Doing this video, reading a book, and then like thinking, should I film a part now? I'm just gonna read a book normally. I'm gonna read like Junji Ito's Shiver or something. But yeah, just like Gwendolyn, I was like, oh, that stuff with her mum. But then I guess it made like her death more like satisfactory, I guess. Oh god, have you ever seen the film Misery? That's gonna be like me and Aron Beauregard. But instead, like, the woman wants him to make a book about how someone lived. I want Aron Beauregard to make a book where Rock lives and he has a nice life, goes to like the Lego store or something. I don't know. But yeah, if you like horror, read it. I heard it's like the best from Aron Beauregard. I might read another one like that was Try the New Candy. That seemed pretty good. But yeah, this has been the video. Please, I beg you, subscribe. This took ages. Oh my god. Also, Rock didn't want Donnie to have the same life that he had. Okay, bye.